Bhasin is also joining us on the show now. Sanjiv, morning. Sanjiv, any take on, there are three listings which are going to happen today. Are you any of those companies on your radar, or anything from primary markets which is on your radar?
Yeah, good morning. So Ajay, I recommended Electroforce couple of last week when the issue opened. It has a profitability of 15 crore on a turnover of 80 crore, and it will do 150 crore in this year with a profitability of 35. It's a B2B business, and it's a clientage has Siemens, Schneider, prototyping, precision metal stamping, tool designing, the entire works of insert molding, anything to do with that. The peer groups of that have a market cap of in excess of trade at 35 to 40 times. This just trades at 25 times. And at a market cap of 200, I think this can be an easily doubler in the next 1 year. So I would ask everyone to definitely have Electroforce in your portfolio. It is being priced at 93. 15 crore goes to the promoter as equity as part of their IPO proceeds. The rest of the 55 crore will go into the business, and it's a debt-free business with all machinery written down, depreciation. And I think this is a no-brainer. So everyone's portfolio, Electroforce must be there. It's listing at 93. I can tell you in 6 months you'll see at least 150 on this. And yes, there has been a lot of volatility in the recent listing because of the issue, but this is a standout issue. It's got niche components, and the order book and the clientele from Siemens to Schneider are all of the pedigree type. So that is a must-have in your portfolio. It gets listed today.
Sanjiv, morning. Wanted to get in your take on that synchronized buying, as we're describing it, that one witnessed within the entire chemicals basket. Deepak Nitrite, Tata Chemicals, Balaji Mines, the entire cluster of stocks did very well.
Yeah, good morning. So Avan, you missed out Aarti and SRF. Those have been two of our top picks, and they've been very, very sweet performers. Particularly Aarti from 450 is, I think, cross 630. We still think that is one stock which must be in your portfolio, despite the 70% run up. SRF is a pedigree stock, and Atul. These are three names which we would be very, very bullish even at this price. And like I said, if you took the guidance of what UPL is saying, they are raising capital, but they are foreseeing the future to be very bright, both in specialty chemical and agrochemical. And I think given the spate of valuation, this is one sector which deserves to be re-rated on the back that the China comeback is very much on the cards. That's why you've seen a proxy to that being in the metal space.
Okay, point taken. So that's the view coming in on some of those stocks, chemicals as well as UPL. But the other one I want to discuss with you, Mr. Bhasin, is Bajaj Auto. Do you think it's time now to look at this one also positively, or there are better names within auto that you like?
Well, Anisha, 5,000 was a decent price to get in, or 5,300. At 65, you are chasing the momentum. And, like I said, if you heard Rajiv Bajaj 1 year back, he was very cautious. But sooner, he said that their units in Akrudi now are turning out two-wheeler EVs at such a rapid pace that there's a 15,000 demand production every day. And that tells you that Rajiv Bajaj is one entrepreneur who goes with the trend. He migrates very fast for upcoming changes. So hats off to him and how he has modified the company from just a two-wheeler, when the Chetak was there, getting the tie-up with Kawasaki and so on. And now their prototype on two-wheeler EVs are doing extremely well. So yes, on decline, you must have it. It is one of our portfolio holdings along with Hero. And we think that the way forward, particularly on the new launch, tie-up with the new launch which they have, Hero has with Harley and they are with Triumph. Those are going to be huge game changers. As a disclosure, I also booked a Harley at 61 because it was always a dream.
Seriously? You have booked a Harley for yourself? I was about to ask you which two-wheeler did you own in your college days? Was it Chetak, was it a Kawasaki or a Yamaha? And you're telling me that you booked a Harley now?
Ajay, at our time there was no Kawasaki. I rode the Bullet, and I was like, the champion. I was the cricket captain and the junior. And the bullet was my game plan for going to do my internship at a chartered accountant firm, going to the university. And there can never be a bike like a bullet. But I always dreamt of a Harley because it was maybe unaffordable or just in the, you dreamt of that. And today I went ahead and booked it. So, maybe I've taken occasional
That's very
ride.
interesting and very inspiring as well. I abandoned my Enfield in college, but I think I should take inspiration from you and get back, getting myself a pair of two wheels. They say that four wheels actually move the body, but two wheels actually move the soul. Whoa. So that's what they say about bikes. So this is a little bit of biking banter. So you must be also bullish on Hero then, because Harley is now partnering with Hero in marketing their stuff, right?
Ajay, 2650 is where we stuck our neck out on Hero. And we said the worst is behind. The rural incomes will pick up. Interest rates are headed down. And you will see Hero come back. From 7.5 lakh motorcycles, which you used to sell about 1.5 years back, they've come down to 4.5. The base can only get bigger. If you went and checked at EV stations, every third motorcycle is a Hero. 4 out of 4, 3 are Hero. So they are adventing very, very fast. And I think Hero on the valuation front and Bajaj on the pedigree side both stand out in this two-wheeler race.
Okay, so zooming away on some of those auto stocks for sure. But the question is, when will we see some of those stagnant, if I may call it, banking stocks start to zoom ahead? The HDFC banks and Kotak banks of the world, Sanjiv.
Well, Awan, they've started to make a move. They're slow but steady. They have a large capital base. And now you have your current account deficit at 1% of GDP. So I think that India's progress is very, very sweet in a global environment. Yes, the markets are already pricing a large part of that. But if the bond yields are to soften and inflation is to be down, then banks are the proxy to credit. And I, as a disclosure, have Kotak and both ICICI in our portfolio. HDFC may be a slow mover, but HDFC and Reliance are actually taking the Nifty to new highs. So despite all the humbug about, not reaching anywhere, we are headed higher. And even though we are in overbought territory on a lot of the mid caps and so on, the three steady names will be ICICI, Kotak, and HDFC, which savvy investors should take some money off the mid caps and put it into these stocks. So you are invested, you are in the market, but you are in slower paces, which will over a period of time gradually give you the comfort of earnings, transparency, and momentum. So I continue to think, like you said, Kotak, HDFC, that basket of large cap private banks are very, very, very attractively priced at this point of new highs.
Sanjiv, the other stock which you've been very bullish on from the peaks of pessimism in Godrej Properties. I remember it almost fell to what, 12 to 1400. Pull up the longer term chart, and then gradually, I think 1600 is when you started talking about it. Now we are gathering. Yeah,
because it's in the news today. They sold more than 600 flats for 2,600 crores in Gurugram.
In April to September period, by the way. They've done similar feats in 2 days as well, but that was last year when a luxury project almost got sold off in 2 days. But it appears that the momentum of luxury flats in your neighborhood, Gurgaon, is very strong. Would you still bet at Godrej Properties, Sanjiv, at this price, or closer to 2,000?
Yes, Ajay, you have a good memory, and I have been sticking with Godrej from 300 rupees. Of course, that was 5 years back, and people didn't realize what the potential of Godrej is. They own all the land in Vikhroli, and now they are a pan-India name aside from DLF. And you have the double wealth effect of gold at 63, for which Awan is laughing, and stocks at 72, for which the entire investing population is. So when you have such a big wealth effect, the first thing to buy is fixed assets. Plus, both these, Godrej has been a relatively outperformer on the brand name, on the pedigree of the management, on the promoters, and DLF has shed the weight of excess leverage very, very smartly in the last year. Ajay, I still think there is room on the upside, but maybe we are reaching a crescendo as far as leverage buyouts go, because now there is not just the first time user, there is also the leverage of buying property on a leverage on your assets, where you have to be a little watchful. I'll give you another name. Today's headline says NBCC sold 2,600 crore of Amarpali flats, they were given the mandate and they were supposed to do that by 2025 end. They've done it a year in advance. And it tells you that the small ticket 2 BHK and so on, which was in the hand of bad builders, is actually being lapped up. So if you read the headline, and NBCC also, by the way, from 35 has gone to 90, and I think it is headed to 120. Not on the back that, the valuations are still comfortable. It's a debt-free company, but it is mandating everything in tier 2, tier 3 cities on the back of, anything to do with the CPWD and the government. So I think that there is still room on the upside, but valuations in both Godrej and DLF are fairly stressed. So take it with a pinch of salt that we've had these positions from almost half the prices or maybe lower, and we are still invested in them in tranches.
Sure. The other one, Mr. Bhasin, you've been quite positive about from the power sector was IEX. Has your view changed, and any other stock that you like from the power sector now?
No, Anisha, I think IEX as a business for a trading platform or an exchange. See, there are 4 intermediaries: insurance, stockbrokers, AMC, and exchanges and depositories. These businesses have to grow 5, 7, 10 times in the next 5, 10 years. There is no talk about that because the capital market is growing, and if you keep seeing this type of SIP flows, as a disclosure, as a brokerage, we have options and so on. But IEX is a super play. 85% EBITDA, even if there is competition, you will see power volumes grow 10, 15 times in the next 5 years. So IEX, IRCTC and Concor, these are 3 of my top picks. Of course, I bought them when there was a lot of pessimism at 120 and 650 on IRCTC. But I still think the 3 businesses, Concor, IRCTC and IEX, are superb. I will not see the price maybe for the next 3 years.
Sanjiv, you've been positive on GAIL among all the gas stocks, and it has done pretty well out of the other big PSUs. But MGL, IGL, they have not done as well. Would you also look at, you'll widen your radar on gas, or you would still stick to GAIL itself?
So Ajay, like you rightly pointed out, all the 3, MGL, IGL, Gujarat Gas, have lagged, and more to do with that one-off which came from the government of Delhi government, where they said that by 2030 they will be, by 2025 25% will be reduction in CNG and so on. I think that is all talk. You need a huge infrastructure before you get there. You are aware that DTC and the CVs have already issued, commercial vehicles have already got 10-year licenses till 2028, where these CNG models cannot be changed. And the government and the managements have explained why they are diversifying, and CNG continues to grow. In fact, IGL is investing more. I still think there is a lot of value in them. But, Ajay, the market is uncanny. It is chasing the stocks or the beta, which is much higher than everyone, where REC, PFC, nobody expected to be 4 times. NTPC is a tripler, and GAIL has just started a move. But, I have been positive from 85 levels. How can you not have GAIL do outperformance? And thirdly, I still think that some of the OMCs, they are going to be re-rated on the back that even today you are getting Russian oil at a 20% discount. You are the 2nd largest importer. And today you exchange in rupee dominated with the UAE and so on. So it's an extreme positive for these OMCs, which were always undervalued. But yes, IGL is in our portfolio from the 385, 390 level. We still think 475 is a fair level for IGL. But like I said, there is more momentum in GAIL and the other stocks, where you are seeing much more traction on the upside. Till you get another quarter of earnings, people will still look for cues to whether to get into these gas utilities or not.
Sanjiv, out of the defense stocks, I mean, nobody's questioning that the business model. In fact, some of them are also talking about export ambition, etc. But the fact is that orders have come in and visibility of orders there. Stocks have run up quite a lot, aren't they? Haven't they? I mean, is it prudent to buy defense even at current levels, or just hold on to them if you have had a good entry, but look at buying only on pullbacks?
Yeah, Ajay, I fully agree with you. I mean, the order books will always remain strong. The executions are always going to be you don't know how fast, and quarterly results are very difficult to track. But they've had the dreamest of runs which you ever imagined for HAL, Bharat Dynamics, or a BL. We've been positive. We've got in these stocks much lower, and I cannot advocate to buy now. When you get these big calls now, you from these foreign brokerages, generally, Ajay, historically in my history, these are tops being made. So don't chase them. There is less room of comfort there on the valuations. That's all I would say. I can see a plethora of other stocks which can give you, like I told you, the intermediaries. Why not look at some of the insurance plays? Insurance companies are going to be the bellwether, more better than a fixed deposit for the next 15, 20, 30 years. And even if we've had this IRDA consultation, I think there will be a resolution on this surrender value. I think some of the insurance players are very, very attractive given their track record, given the type of innovation they are with in products. So I would go with a Max Finance or an HDFC Life. They have corrected recently. And like I said, intermediaries, that is insurance, broking, AMC, custodian, and exchanges. These are going to be there for the next 20 years and more.
Have you, by any chance, Sanjeev, looked at this one, Protean eGov?
No, Ajay, I have not had a look at this one.
No problem. You already have 800 stocks on your radar. I don't want to burden you with more. And you're always reshuffling them. But thanks very much for joining us on the show today.